goes to Senator Harper's from Brian Tang. Pick one of New Haven's neighborhood main streets. Describe what you like about it currently, and explain what you think should be the city's role, if any, in enlivening it socially, strengthening it as a civic backbone, and encouraging bicycle, pedestrian, and transit-oriented commerce and development.
Thank you very much. I think my favorite street in New Haven is Edgewood Avenue. And it is not a street that actually has a lot of commercial development, but I think that it's organized very well. You know, if you think about it's actually got a park through the middle of it, a sort of like a plaisance. It's beautiful. It's a place where children can actually play next to the park and as well in the center of the street actually, so that I think that it's actually a beautiful street. As it goes into the city, it becomes one way, and the traffic is done very well. There are bicycle lanes on that street, so that there are a number of ways that people can traverse the city, actually from Westville all the way to downtown on Edgewood Avenue. I think it's one of our perfect streets.
Thank you. Ms. Caroline?
My favorite street is obviously Dixwell Avenue. And when I think of Dixwell Avenue, I always hear stories from some of the old timers back in the 50s. We talk about the 50s and 60s. And my grandmother lived on that street. My family, when I was brought home from the hospital, I was brought home to Dixwell Avenue. And I can recall all the outstanding small businesses that were there. You know, everything from Joe Greats to Unique Boutique to the Dr. Taylor. I remember all those various thriving small businesses. I remember the pictures I've seen of Dixwell Avenue. It was a clean neighborhood. There were clean streets. They talked about the pride and unity within that community that we once had before politics and before people were bought off in the community to support crooked politicians. We talk about two-family homes. There was once a time we had a lot of two-family homes in those neighborhoods, and it was an outstanding place. The home ownership. So my headquarters is in Dixwell Avenue, and it's there for reasons because I support Dixwell Avenue and I support the development of it.
Thank you.
My favorite street was Dixwell Avenue too. But that was before that I started seeing so much young truancy on Dixwell Avenue. And I never knew that Mr. Caroline implemented a program called Don't Come to School, I Got You Covered. You know, I think this is teaching our kids how to be irresponsible. We must teach responsibility. On Dixwell Avenue, you see kids hanging out, you see kids doing everything, truancy, you see kids doing everything wrong. You know, we have to hold our kids accountable. We have to hold our kids at a higher standard than what they're being handed now. And you don't understand it when you tell them it's all right to miss 45 days. It's all right to do what you want to do. It's all right to do that. And teaching irresponsibility at a higher level. And it's not all right to have Mike Tyson fights in school, then the staff doing the same thing.
Just 1 second, Mr. Caroline, you want to rebut that, or give you opportunity?
I hope they're paying you well, brother. It's selling out like this. I really hope they're paying you well, brother. I really do. Because, brother, I've been very respectful of you up until this point, but all I'm going to say is this, real plain and simple. I know your daughter went to Hill House. I don't know when the last time I saw you there, and I'm going to leave it at that.
You know my daughter went to Hill House. But she was taught she could go to school when she wanted. She said, Mr. Carolina has me cut. Nobody sold me out. This is what you put in the paper. I'm not saying nothing that hasn't been said by yourself. But at the same time, we cannot keep telling our kids to be irresponsible. I thought this was about public safety.
I thought you were her parent. What? I thought you were her parent. When did you shift the responsibility for your daughters?
When you tell my kids it's all right for them to go to school, and I think they're in school when they're not in school, then it's not all right.
Well, brother.
Thank you so much. Justin?
I'm going to answer the question that was posed. It's about one of our favorite streets in the city and what we would do to improve it even more. And I'm going to choose Grand Avenue because it is representative of what's great about our city and what can be even better. The bustling small business community along there of individuals that are trying to make it by, have an idea and maybe a little bit of cash to start up, that needs some support from the city to invest in streetscapes, invest in more predictable and reliable public transportation, which will bring more community members there purchasing things in their stores. The city can play a strong role, not just with bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure, but investing in the streetscape to beautify it, increasing public transportation so people can access those neighborhoods, and improving on the zoning along those corridors to make sure that more developers invest along them.
Thank you.
So I would obviously agree with Justin on this idea of Grand Avenue. I work very hard with the merchants there and the shop owners there to redevelop it. But I think he's described it well, so I'm going to point to the street that I live on, East Pearl Street, which is a beautiful street in Fairhaven, where neighbors have worked hard together to make it safe. Our properties are all in a historic district. And so there's a real sense of camaraderie and neighborliness, and it's the neighborhood or the street where my son has learned to ride his bicycle, and we all look out for each other. And I think that's an amazing part of New Haven, that there are so many streets like East Pearl Street, but I love my street just a little bit more.
Thank you. We're going to move to the next question.